Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. Now on today's show, things go a bit Jurassic as we're joined by Ranger Chris from Dinomania, who chats to Ross Lannon about bringing the UK's most interactive dinosaur experience to life ahead of live shows in Newquay and in Plymouth. We also hear from Lostwithiel man Tom Miles, who, along with his 2-year-old Labrador Luna, is walking the entire Cornish coastline to raise money and awareness for Cornwall-based charity ShelterBox. Meanwhile, Tamsin Chapman Gunner from Gunners Kids CIC joins us to explain how new funding from the Asda Foundation will help launch a dedicated support group for local teenagers affected by terminal illness. As Mental Health Awareness Week approaches, Burt from White River Cinema tells Meah Howlett how the cinema has teamed up with Snap Fitness St Austell for a 245-mile cycling challenge, raising vital funds for Medi Cinema. And finally, it's time for our monthly look to the skies as local astronomer Brian Sheen joins us to talk meteor showers, moon watching and what to look out for in Cornwall's night skies this month, as well as giving us a fascinating look back in time this VE Day.
NEWSWAVE.
But first this week, get ready as things are about to go Jurassic on Chaos Radio. From Britain's Got Talent to Blue Peter to Dragon's Den, Dinomania brings the UK's most interactive dinosaur experience to life with incredible live shows, roaring walking dinosaurs and hands-on fun for all ages. Ranger Chris joined Ross Lannon live on air to discuss their UK tour and upcoming shows in Newquay and in Plymouth.
NEWSWAVE.
Good morning. How are you all? This is so much fun. I've been looking forward to this all week, to be honest.
Oh, do you know what? This is something that we've had planned in the calendar, haven't we, for a short while? And yeah. I'm so excited that we're able to chat with you today because what you guys get up to, I just absolutely love. So we're going to get into all that and more shortly. But I wanted to just touch on the fact you're on Chaos Radio today, and Chaos feels like the perfect name for you, Chris, because your job is a little bit bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a slightly crazy life I live. Yeah, I kind of look after lots of dinosaurs. That's my day in. And we know how much kids and loads of adults love dinosaurs these days. So it's and to be honest, this is one of the reasons I started this amazing journey of mine over 10 years ago now, believe it or not. But yeah, we love bringing prehistory back to life with some amazing puppets, and just we also have loads of fossils. We've got a full museum. So yeah, if you're into dinosaurs, then I'm your guy, I guess.
So was you one of those kids, Chris, that when you were growing up, you was like obsessed with dinosaurs? Did you see yourself kind of going down this route or not?
Yeah, of course. I guess it's not a typical sort of job that people tend to go for, but since a young kid, I've loved them. I've had a fascination with dinosaurs. It's been I've had a fascination with just modern sort of birds and reptiles as well. So they sort of all linked in. But I wasn't always a dinosaur ranger. I've done pretty normal jobs over the years, window fitting, pub work, things like that, but nothing that really stuck. But dinosaurs, I've just loved it. So 10 years ago, I started this crazy business called Dinomania.
Do you know what? That's not a statement you hear very often. Someone saying, I wasn't always going to be a dinosaur ranger. Brilliant.
No, but kind of now, though, it's just ingrained in me. I've been doing it 10 long years. We've travelled all over the UK with our tour and bringing prehistory back to life for kids and adults, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a bit about your lifestyle before we jump into like talking about your shows. I want to talk about life as a ranger, because like you said, you are traveling all over the country with these shows and these incredible interactive things you get up to. So talk me through an average day as Ranger Chris.
Oh, there's never an average day, and that's what I love about it. It's kind of always different. And it's kind of what I make of it as well. So, for instance, I've got this very cute little dinosaur called Bramble at the minute, and I'm just taking Bramble here, there, and everywhere. And me and Bramble are just sort of, it's like Batman and Robin in a way, where we're a sidekick, but Bramble's kind of the star of the show, and we take him into shops, we take him into markets, but more importantly, we take him into care homes, hospitals, schools, things like that. And that's an average day of the Ranger Chris life, after mucking out all the dinosaurs, of course, all the bigger ones.
It's funny. It's funny you mention Bramble, okay? Because some of my favourite videos of yours online are the ones where you and Bramble are just basically causing carnage in the local town. You're going into random places, mixing with the general public, and the reactions you get. Talk me through some of them, because I'm assuming over the years you've had some really great positive ones, but also some people just very confused and scared.
Well, it's a mixture of some people love him, and some people are a little bit more I wouldn't say scared of him, but a little bit more, what is it, first of all? And that's the kind of the first question that always gets asked. What is it? Is it a dog? Is it some, is sort of there a person inside? And I'm like, no, and I always answer the same, it's a dinosaur. It's only a dinosaur. And it's kind of the reactions that we get. Sometimes people are a little bit sort of back by it. Other times people absolutely love it, and they just loving his little bouncing, they're loving his waves and all the cool things that he does.
So for those who are maybe just tuning in now, talk me through, can you describe these dinosaurs for our listeners? Because they look incredibly realistic, don't they? They
are. And I've always kept this little sort of routine up that they are real, no matter what. And it's kind of the way I've always done it. And I'm not going to break that right now, because they're real. They're real dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The imagination is an amazing thing. And I think using what we use to bring them back to life is just great. And where do they come from? They all come from eggs.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, I'm all for sticking to the theme, and this is your lifestyle as well, isn't it? So hey, you've got to commit to it.
If anyone knows what it's like living your life on social media and things like that, it's something you've just got to roll with and have fun with, and that's something that I've always done.
Yeah, but people should also remember, Chris, that this is not just a joke either, because you've got to know your stuff, especially with your shows, you've got to have that prehistoric knowledge. So tell me a little bit about that side of things, and where do you learn all of this stuff?
So obviously, lots of people think I'm some sort of genius paleontologist, and I'm not. Everything I've done is self-taught. So when you speak to children sometimes, and you understand how much they already know about prehistory, it's amazing. It's one of those things that always amazes me, and I love it. So I've always just learned from the internet, from books, from documentaries, and of course the internet's a really good place for things these days. You can find all the information you need. And I've just self-taught it over years and years, and sometimes I don't know the answer. And that's pretty normal. But most of the time, I'm pretty clued up on it. And I've done courses on paleobiology in the University of Alberta in Canada. They're all online courses. I've done loads of things like that. So lots of audio books and things. So definitely keeping my knowledge up there.
Amazing. And do you keep your dinosaurs around the house like pets? I imagine. Do you have cats and dogs, or do you? Is it just?
I've got 2 dogs. I got 2 dogs. I got a snake, and lots of dinosaurs. So sometimes they stay with me. I got one just under the desk.
Amazing.
Do you want to see it?
I absolutely.
This is going to be half a radio, though. I'm going to have to keep on sort of describing.
This is fine. So for those watching our live stream, you'll be able to enjoy Chris showing us a dinosaur. But Chris, you can also explain for our audio listeners what's going on here.
So I'm holding in my hands and trying to get it on the cameras as well. This is a baby nodosaur. And it's similar to Bramble, actually. This is Bramble's little sister. Her name is Fern. She's beautiful. She's green. She's got osteoderms, or little armor plates all down her back. And she's a proper little cutie, as you can see.
I am obsessed. I'm not sure how my dog would feel about that running around my house, but I want one.
My dogs, they kind of got used to it, but yeah, normally reactions with dogs is another quite funny sort of moment, especially on video. But this is Fern. She's very cute. I'm just gonna put her back.
Oh,
give her some food under there.
Yeah, we'll give Fern some privacy. Love it.
Off you go.
Do you know what would be so fun? I want to come to like a dinner party at your house. I imagine anyone that comes to your house for the first time will just have such a surprise, but a laugh.
Yeah, especially for like dinosaurs, I guess. But you know, there's always. I think life is all about living it and just enjoying it. So it's kind of what I've done, and I've had a whale of a time doing it, and it's brought me loads of opportunities as well. As you explained earlier, Britain's Got Talent, Dragon's Den. Blue Peter and things that I can't talk about right now, but exciting things are happening in the future as well.
Oh, you tease. Love it. Chris, you probably get asked this question a lot, which you probably dislike it a lot because it's like choosing your favourite child. But do you have a favourite dinosaur?
The favourite that I have has to be Ronnie the T-Rex.
Okay.
He was my first ever dinosaur about 10 years ago, and he's evolved slightly over the years, and he's got a bit bigger, but I think he's just still the star of the show sometimes. I think Bramble's a close second, but I think still for me, Ronnie the T-Rex.
Ronnie the T-Rex. I mean, the names themselves are just brilliant. And then if we're talking in general, maybe a dinosaur that you don't yet have, what's on your kind of dinosaur bucket list?
So I'm a big fan of Allosaurus. Allosaurus is a Jurassic huge predator. Not as big as T-Rex, but it's such a cool dinosaur. So I do like Allosaurus.
I mean, you could be saying any words to me right now, and I'm just nodding along like, oh yeah, love a Allosaurus.
What's your favourite dinosaur, Ross?
I mean, is there a dinosaur that has any connection to the name Ross? Is there a Rossosaurus out there? I don't know.
Rossosaurus, no. But there could be if you find one. So, you know.
Let's go with that. Let's manifest a Rossosaurus. Now, you mentioned briefly in our chat earlier, Chris, about appearing on the likes of Britain's Got Talent, Blue Peter, Dragon's Den. All these little opportunities, well, not little, these huge opportunities have helped get you where you are today. So tell us a little bit about those experiences. What have you loved? What has, really helped you get to where you are?
Oh, I've loved them all, but the opportunities, they all sort of, the Britain's Got Talent was my first opportunity back in 2022. We went for the auditions, come up with a mad plan of some dancing dinosaurs, and done a bit of Gangnam Style with some dinosaurs. Simon loved us, as did some of the others. And luckily for us, we got through to the semi-finals back in 2022, appeared in the Hammersmith Apollo, and it was just phenomenal. The atmosphere and everything was great. It was a great opportunity. We didn't get any further, but it didn't matter. We still managed to get as far as we could, but it was a brilliant opportunity.
Amazing. That's the joy about one of these types of shows. It's the exposure as well, isn't it? And that's
of course.
It's helped people, become aware of your brand, and obviously enabled you guys to travel all across the country as well, doing these shows. Tell me a little bit about the shows, because we need to delve into a little bit about them. What makes Dinomania so cool?
So it's so interactive, and it's the one sort of USP I've gone for. We want the kids to feel involved in the show, and the adults who come along, and we want them to actually feel the dinosaurs up close and personal. So what we do, it sounds really bizarre, but we hire sports balls. People come in, they sit on the floor, which I know sounds a bit, but it's worked for us. I know we've been doing it 6 years, and the feedback and the reviews that we've got from it, the dinosaurs, they don't just stand on stage, they walk amongst the crowd. They get into people's bags and they rummaging around their food and they're swinging their tails over their heads. And it is just, all I could think about when I was designing the show was, if I was a kid again and seeing these dinosaurs stomping right next to you. So that's what we went for. Plus the educational side as well. So it just constantly sort of drip feed little bits of information into the kids and the parents who are there, and it's just a great experience.
Does it like panic you a little bit when they're going through the crowd? Because if I owned said dinosaurs, when the kids, we know what kids are like, their hands are everywhere, pushing and pulling. I'll be like, oi, get off my dinosaur.
Yeah. We've kind of nailed the routine. The kids that come along, even though kids get excited, most of them, when a dinosaur comes out, they'll just sit with their parents and they'll be a little bit, they want to touch and things. And if the dinosaur comes closer, we've got this little hand signal. If they wave their hands, it means the dinosaurs are happy to go closer. If they just keep their hands to the sides, the dinosaurs will just walk past. So it's kind of a few things that we talk to them about at the start. But what we don't do as well is we never overfill the hall. So it's a nice open space. The dinosaurs can roam around freely, and it's great.
Perfect. And hey, talking of these sports halls that you hire out, you are coming down to Cornwall this weekend, down to Newquay, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
What can people expect from Newquay?
It's a little bit of a prehistoric adventure. So we call it the prehistoric takeover. We've got the dinosaurs there, of course, but we've also got some prehistoric beasts like woolly mammoths. There's one called Quetzalcoatlus. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's the largest flying creature that's ever lived. And these come back to life, showing the scale and the size as well. So that's coming to, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Treverglass Sports Hub, this Saturday and Sunday.
You were close. Treviglas.
I knew it was close there. But yeah, we're there this Saturday and Sunday. We've come down to Newquay for the past 5-6 years, every year. So we get a lot of people come in who are repeat, and we've seen them growing up as the years are going on, which is great. But yeah, we're back there this Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be fab.
Amazing. It sounds so good. And last time I checked, when I was looking on the website again, late last week, I believe the event is sold out as well. That's how popular it is.
So there are a few tickets left. We've added a few more.
Okay.
So there's a couple of tickets left, but there's not many. I think there's about 20 left for each session at the minute. So they're available on our website at the moment.
Amazing. Do snap them up, guys. It's sounding great. And can we just say as well, this is not just for children as well. This is the adults can get involved.
Most certainly. Since Bramble's been on the scene, Bramble's become this internet superstar. And we're getting loads and loads of people traveling from miles and miles to all of our shows just to come and see Bramble, which is crazy. But then when they're leaving, they're actually they're amazed how good the rest of the show is. And, Bramble's just a small portion of it. So we are bringing Bramble this weekend as well. And I may actually take him into Newquay as well, town centre, for a little walk around. Why not?
Amazing. I cannot wait to see those videos. And you are no stranger to Cornwall either, because I know only last month, wasn't it? You just a casual link up with Steve Backshall doing an event down at the Minack, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I've known Steve Backshall for a couple of years now. And we've done his Deadly Live tour last year, where we toured, we've done the O2 Arena, we've done loads of really big arenas over a 2-week period. And then he just mentioned he's moved down to Cornwall now. So he mentioned to me, can we do one in the Minack? And I'm like, the Minack? And I looked at this venue. Yeah. This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. So I was like, let's do it. So we put it all on sale, and it sold out instantly. And we've done three sold out shows there. I think it was only 3 weeks ago now. So it's amazing.
Incredible. Well, hey, hopefully there's space for some more of them in the future as well, because if it's such a success. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Chris, I've absolutely loved chatting with you, talking all things dinosaurs. Give us a final plug. Where can people follow you? What's the website so people can grab tickets to your events?
Thank you. So everything online is under Dinomania. We've got dinomania.co.uk. That's for the tickets. And online, we're under Dinomania _UK on Instagram, and Dinomania everywhere else.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, Brian Jordan has been speaking to Lostwithiel man Tom Miles, who, along with his gorgeous 2-year-old Labrador Luna, has taken on a rather incredible challenge, only walking the entire Cornish coastline. Yeah, you heard that right. The pair are covering 300 miles to raise money and awareness for the Cornwall-based charity ShelterBox, which supports people displaced by conflict and disaster around the world. And Brian caught up with them both somewhere along that Cornish coastline, live here on Chaos Radio.
NEWSWAVE.
Well, we're aiming to walk the whole of the Cornwall coastline, about 300 miles. It starts north of Bude, all the way round past Land's End and finishes at Plymouth. We're hoping it's going to take about 2 weeks, and we're about a week in, and we're still talking to each other.
What inspired you to take on this challenge, and more importantly, to do it with Luna by your side?
I live in Cornwall. I've always, you end up visiting all the different beaches and towns, and I've really fancied like stringing it all together. So yeah, and Luna, obviously, absolutely being a Cornish dog, loves the beach. She was more than happy to join me on this adventure.
I can imagine it, and I can imagine she's made lots and lots of friends along the way as well.
Oh my God, she's made a lot of friends. Had quite a lot of free pasties as well. But yeah, she's done the time of her life.
And this isn't just one gigantic walk for Luna. You're actually raising money for ShelterBox, a charity based here in Cornwall. Why is it important for you to support them through your walk?
If your neighbour lost their home, you'd obviously help them, wouldn't you? So ShelterBox's role is going in there when a disaster hits, whether it's flooding or a hurricane or conflict, and supporting those communities' urgent needs. And that need changes depending on the situation. So it might be that they need shelters, that they need tents if it's a hot country, or and if it's in a cold environment, it might be they need blankets and cooking equipment or water purifiers. Don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely loving the experience of walking along, and it's been beautiful. And Cornwall coastline is fantastic at this time of year. The flowers are out, the songbirds are out, but every now and again I just sort of remember this, the people that we're supporting, people that are leaving their homes and going on walks, not for the joy of spring, but out of necessity. And it's very important, isn't it, to enjoy this beautiful Cornwall life, but equally, if we can help other people at the same time, it's fantastic.
Absolutely. You're walking around about 20 to 25 miles a day along some very hilly Cornish coastline. How have you been finding it so far? And how's Luna finding it as well?
She's doing about 40 miles every day. She heard me like I'm a sheep. So she runs ahead, comes back and then gathers me up and runs ahead again. So she's doing a ridiculous number of miles, bless her. Yeah, I've been lucky with the weather. A few friends have come to meet me. I've met some really nice people along the way, like people living here on the coastline that have cheered me along. Met other fellow walkers I've been walking with as well, like people from all over the world you meet walking on the Cornwall coast. It's brilliant. It's so nice to spend time talking to different people as we go along. So it's been good. We are going to make it. We're confident. Have
you met anyone else doing the coast path at the same time? Is anyone else doing the same challenge as you?
Yeah, interesting. The first person I met as I left, within 5 minutes of starting, I met somebody and I asked if he had a big bag, and I asked if he was doing the Cornwall coastline. He said he was doing Land's End to John O'Groats. So it made me feel a little bit, oh, okay, that's a lot further. I think it's a massive asset for Cornwall to have this coastline as a walk-in option.
100%. And you've been documenting, you and Luna have been documenting your journeys and your travels online and on social media as well. For anyone who would like to support the fundraiser or follow your progress, how can they keep up to date with you both?
There's things on both the ShelterBox social media pages. So they've got stuff on their Instagram and their Facebook. And then we're also running Instagram and TikTok, and it's Luna Walks for Charity is the tag that people need to look for. And then we're trying as best we can every day to put on footage of Luna running around enjoying herself, which my children at home are organising rather than myself. But yeah, it would be fantastic. And there's links on those pages to where you can send fundraising money. It'd be amazing, yeah. I
think there's nothing better than dogs having fun on social media, so I will be sure to follow that one later on.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio with me, Tom Howe. Gunners Kids CIC, which provides vital support to families navigating terminal illness, has secured funding from the Asda Foundation to launch a new support group for teenagers. Co-founder and director Tamsin Chapman Gunner joined Cheryl Gordon to explain what these sessions will offer young people and the work they do all year round.
NEWSWAVE.
We support families with children when they're affected by the terminal illness of a parent or carer or somebody that's close to them in that family.
What inspired you to set up this new support group specifically for teenagers?
So we've had quite a few referrals in the last few months that have come through from families with older children. And although all of our activities are targeted for the whole family, we do find that teenagers, they want their own space. They want to speak to other teenagers. They want to know that other people are going through similar experiences to them. We came up with the idea of looking at a group specific for that age range. We can also do a few more different activities because they're older children, so we can look at maybe doing baking cookies and things like that. So the venue's got an oven that we can use, and it gives us a bit more flexibility. Also gives the children the opportunity to talk to other children going through the same things as they are.
Can you talk us through what these monthly sessions will involve?
So we're going to be, it's about an hour and a half, third Monday of every month, and it will vary week by week. What we're hoping is once we've got it up and running, that the teenagers themselves will start to shape how the sessions go. But we're looking at something that's very informal. So we'll put something on that they can do. I say whether it's baking, whether it's a craft, or we might be able to get people in to do activities as well. But also we've got breakout spaces so they can go and chat with each other. They can chat with one of the volunteers that are there. But we're aiming at it being a very sort of relaxed social evening for them, and they can take from it what they need to, really.
How will the peer support help them open up and support one another?
With families when they're affected by a terminal illness, regardless of who it is in the family that's ill, there's a lot of things that they can't say to each other, or they don't want to say to each other. They don't want to worry the other person, or they don't want them to know sort of how scared they are because they're worried it'll make things harder. So the kind of idea behind peer support is that they'll be able to talk to other children that are going through the same, that hopefully they'll be, well, I feel like that too. And that sentence is really powerful when somebody says to you, actually, I feel like that, or that's happened to me, or something. It just helps to validate those feelings that you have. I mean, we'll still be there as somebody they can talk to. We'll be there as someone that can signpost. But we're really hoping that the children will come together themselves and be able to just support each other and build friendships around that.
What does the funding and support from Asda St Austell mean for your organisation?
Well, it's given us the opportunity to set up this one. It's something we've been looking at for a while. We weren't really sure where we were going to place it because our families come from across the county. But having the funding from Asda St Austell means that we have to remain within the catchment. So that did choose the area for us. And then we had the offer of support from the family hubs as well. So we're going to be at St Dennis Family Hub. It's a lovely little centre. Like I said, it's got the kitchen, it's got a breakout room. We'll have the building for that time. And if it's nice weather, there's an outside space as well. So the funding from Asda has enabled us to be able to run the whole service for 12 months.
For those listening who might benefit, how can they get involved with these sessions?
So these ones, as I said, third Monday of every month at St Dennis Family Hub, be from 6:30 till 8, and it's a drop-in. Obviously, we need a parent to come along to bring them in, especially if it's a family that we haven't worked with before. But we're doing it on a very relaxed. So any time between that 6:30 and 8, they can drop in. They can stay for the whole session. They can stay for part of the session, whatever works for them, really, as long as there's an adult that's dropping them and collecting them.
For any other connections or support that's maybe needed for children, how can people get in touch with you?
So there's a contact form on our website, so gunnerskids.org, or we've got our Facebook page, LinkedIn and Instagram, and you can contact through there as well. Or if anybody's got pen and paper, my email address is tamsin, which is TAMSIN, at gunnerskids.org. If there are any families that are looking for support, to just drop us a line. No question is too daft, because I think sometimes people don't get in contact because they think that what they're asking is silly, and nothing is. We're doing an event at the Seal Sanctuary in September. We've got Lego robotics in July. There's lots of things that are going on. I think what's always really important is there's two strands to us. So we have the activity days where they can just go and be a family. They don't have to talk about what's happening. They can just literally enjoy the time together. And then we have our outreach service where we can have those conversations. We can be that person that they can talk to. So there's a lot of things that we can offer if anybody needs us.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, this month, during Mental Health Awareness Week, the WTW White River Cinema in St Austell is teaming up with Snap Fitness for an epic fundraising challenge. Only cycling 245 miles for Medi Cinema. Manager Will Burt joins Meah Howlett to share all the details.
NEWSWAVE.
So we have been approached by Medi Cinema, it's our associated charity, and we are going to cycle the equivalent distance from the cinema to Birmingham Children's Hospital. That's where the newest Medi Cinema has opened. So Snap Fitness are lending us some exercise bikes, and we're going to do 245 miles over 3 days.
That is quite a distance, Will. 245 miles. Have you and the team, are you in training? What's going on?
I do go to the gym a few times a week, so I'm okay. Curtis cycles to work. It's an electric bike, so we don't know if that quite helps. So I think between us and a few volunteers, Snap Fitness said they'll help out. I think Henry Rosewall was coming in.
Oh,
I was throwing him under the bus.
Roped him in there. He's got to do it now.
He's on there. Yes, yeah. So we've got a few people helping out. So I think between us as a team, we'll be okay.
Wow. And I hear that there's maybe a film-themed twist, which of course, because we're at the cinema. How have you incorporated films into the challenge too?
Yeah, so we're thinking of iconic bike scenes, and the most obvious one is E.T.
Yeah.
So we've got little baskets on the front of the exercise bikes. E.T. is going to be in one, and Toto from Wizard of Oz is in the other basket. So the campaign is going to be help us get E.T. and Toto to the Children's Hospital. And afterwards, we'll make sure they get to the hospital as well.
Oh, great. So they will actually go and live at the hospital at the end.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. I love that. That's so fun. You said it's all to do with Medi Cinema. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about the incredible work that they do year round if people have not heard about them?
Yes, so they're based in hospitals. They work with the NHS, and it's long-term patients stay in there and other outpatients and family that visit. They set up cinema screenings to help people just get away from their daily treatments and having to be in hospital for a long period of time. So they'll do designated screenings for like groups or individuals. And they've just opened the one in Birmingham Children's Hospital and Manchester later this year. So they've got 7 across the country. But yeah, it's a really great initiative. So it's one we've been supporting for a while, which I think because it's obviously the cinema ties in. We've done a few screenings. So yeah, it's just quite a good association between cinemas and the Medi Cinema.
Where did the idea come from and the motivation to do something like this?
Well, Medi Cinema approached us, WTW as a company, and said about Mental Health Awareness Week. They'd like us to do some challenges, maybe quizzes or stuff like that. And I just thought, it'd be nice to do a fitness challenge. We thought running, but that's a bit too far, 240 miles. So cycling might be slightly better to do that distance. So yeah, it was a combination. We were approached and then I came up with the ideas. It should be fun.
I love it. Just slightly easier than running, but still quite the challenge for sure. Any snacks on board? I know you have baskets at the front, so I'm expecting like popcorn and things like that. Is that going to be flowing? Yeah.
I mean, if we have people come and help out, we'll give them free popcorn and a drink. So yeah, any volunteers or victims will be rewarded.
So for those that might be interested in coming along, helping out, seeing what it's all about, can you remind us of the days and the times and everything that's going on?
Yes, so we are doing it in the cinema, White River Cinema in St Austell, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12th, 13th and 14th of May. It'll be during opening times, which is normally the evenings, but we'll be doing stuff during the day. So we'll probably have the doors open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So pop in. There'll be someone on a bike nearby and the door unlocked too.
So if people want to follow this challenge and get behind it, get involved and donate if they're able to, how can they do that?
So the best bit will be on our social page. Go to our Facebook page. We have got the Just Giving page set up already. So someone has given some money. So it has started. So go to our Facebook page and there'll be links from there to it. Or drop us an email. We can sort of put in the right direction. So yeah, just keep an eye on our socials in the coming weeks.
And have you got a target in mind of how much you'd like to raise?
So we said 245, we said £250. We thought like roughly a pound a mile was that's the thinking behind that. So.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, well, I hope you absolutely smash that target, Will. I'm sure that is going to be a great success, and all the best for it.
Thank you very much.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally, this week, it's time for our monthly catch-up with local astronomer Brian Sheen from over at Roseland Observatories. And there's lots to keep an eye on in the skies this month, including 2 full moons. Cheryl Gordon began by asking Brian whether he caught a glimpse of the recent Lyrids meteor shower.
NEWSWAVE.
Didn't get myself out of bed. The trouble is they call it a shower, which is technically correct, but you get about 7 or 8 per hour. So you spend most of your time looking in the right direction and seeing 2/3 of not a lot. So I didn't, I'm afraid, but I have seen it before. And we're actually hoping that the dust from the shower, so-called, will fall upon my Truro High School for Girls green field, because I am collecting micrometeorites, which are the dust from comets, i.e. meteors, and doing it to get one of my former young students, who's now doing his PhD, getting him equipped to use my micrometeorites in his PhD. So it could all be well.
If people missed it, there's another active meteor shower which will peak at the start of May. Can you tell us more about that, please?
Yeah, that one's not very big either. That's the Eta Aquariids, if I remember rightly. And no, meteors are, very difficult. I mean, the Leonid or the Perseids is in August is generally the best or most reliable, but I have seen in my entire career, I've seen about 6 of them, I think. I mean, I remember the Leonids years ago. What happens there is the shower that was the best, really. The shower actually came up over the horizon before you could actually see what we call the radiant. So that was quite impressive. Obviously, on the 1999, where there was a tremendous storm of these meteors, then of course it was absolute total cloud, just like the eclipse of that year, which we have not yet forgotten.
No, not at all. And I think I remember quite rightly where I was living at home with my parents still, and I remember waking my dad up because he was working night shift, and we stood in the garden, and it was the most surreal moment I think I ever had in my life.
Yeah. But what we are waiting for, and that should happen, is a nova in June. That's going to burst forth, and a star which we cannot see with the naked eye will suddenly become as bright as one of the brightest stars in, say, the pole star. Reasonably bright. We've taken a picture of the constellation already, so we should be able to identify the intruder when it bursts into life. Yeah. And that should be quite well supported, I think, because it's an 80-year cycle. So if you don't see it this time, you've got a week probably to see it. But if it isn't seen then, I mean, I should be all right, another 80 years. What's that?
Yeah. Now, in May, there are 2 full moons. How rare is this?
Yeah, that's quite rare. I'm quite surprised that that's 1st and 31st, and that it's supposed to be at a 29.5-day cycle. So even that's a bit odd. And no, I very rarely see 2 full moons in 1 month. That's absolutely true. Although we don't like them because it so blazes and puts the ordinary stars to shame, then it is good in some other ways because it suppresses the small stars, making the constellation marker stars, i.e. the ones that we recognize as the shape of the plough and so on. And it makes them stand out against the ordinary darkish sky. So it's pluses and minuses on that. And of course, if you put a telescope on it, you need to put a filter on to reduce the light intensity if you've got any sort of largish telescope in action.
Is there anything else in the skies we should look out for in the coming weeks?
Mercury is going to be fairly visible. Mercury never leaves the horizon very far at all because it's so close to the sun. It either sets immediately after the sunset or immediately before sunrise. So you've got a fairly short time to view that, I'm afraid.
Do you have any top tips about the best way to spot meteor showers and catch a good glimpse of the moon?
Basically, you don't want to stare directly at the radiant point because all you'll see then is the occasional one which is coming straight for your eyes, and that'll just be a bright dot and it'll go out again. You need to look off that a little bit, and then you'll see it shoot past, hopefully. And that's the way to do it. You need to wrap up warm generally, because if it's clear enough to make meteors visible, meteor shower, then it's going to be cold, even in August something. But that's the one to look for, really, the August meteors. If ever you see a television program with meteors in it, you can bet your bottom dollar it's the Perseids that they're showing, and so it is that's the most reliable, really. There's some bigger ones, but they're desperately awkward times.
NewsWave.
Our thanks to Brian Sheen there from Roseland Observatory for giving us a picture of what to expect in the night sky this month. Now, it's not only the skies that Brian has been looking at recently. He's also been marking, as have many others, the anniversary of VE Day on May the 8th, which commemorated the end of World War II in Europe. Now, during a recent visit to Roseland Observatory, Brian shared with me some first-hand experience of VE Day itself.
NewsWave.
My father was a manager of vegetable oil firm, which produced the oil for Smith's Crisps and so on, down on the docks at Deptford. So you can't get a much tougher place than Deptford, I tell you. So he was in that, and he tried to sign up for the army, but he got a perforated eardrum, which meant he couldn't hear the shouts duck. And so they wouldn't have him in the army. And he then carried on working because that was an essential job, really. But in the evenings and nights, he drove a fire engine and manned the fire pumps and things like that right through the Blitz. The Blitz sort of finished a bit before I turned up on the scene, and we had the sort of the two rockets, the V1s and V2s. They were the ones that were flying about then. So that was quite a dramatic start to my life. And I remember actually walking outside and seeing squadron after squadron after squadron of planes flying overhead. And saying, "Where are they going, Mum?" And she said they're going to drop bombs on Hitler, which was about right, to be fair. That's exactly what they were doing. And it was, you know, literally in those days, you were in the front line in its way, because obviously there was stuff coming from the other side, rattling around London incredibly. You know, the damage caused in London was terrific. And so that's what I remembered. I remember too being taken into a Morrison shelter. Morrison shelters, for those that didn't have an outside place, it was more or less a bed with a great big steel framework over the top and covered in sort of mesh, quite big mesh. And I was obviously very, very young then, but I do remember being carried in there. That's my earliest memory. Wow. It must have been about one or something. Wow. One or two.
And what do you remember about the sights and the smells?
Yeah,
what do you remember
about the smells and things like that? I didn't sort of really pick any of those up. But essentially, those two factors were the ones that I recalled. And, I stayed I went to school eventually, They tried to educate me. They gave up in disgust, I think.
Oh dear.
But anyway, the father had enough of being chased all over London by V1s and V2s. By the time the war finished, I do remember on VE Day, the flag that was hoisted in the cherry tree. And that's the flag that's in that box beer to your side.
Wow.
And it's pretty tatty now, but it's a blue ensign flag. It was hoiked up there for a few days, and I flew it again on the 80th anniversary in the garden. Wow. So I don't think anybody noticed it anyway. It was there. And,
so this is a genuine...
Oh, yes.
VE Day flag.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. How did you get your hands on that, Brian?
Well, I don't know where Father nicked it from, but no, I presumably purchased it somewhere. But, so that was the sort of end of the war as far as we were concerned. And I like to sort of remember that. I mean, if the things had gone the other way, we were in bombing range, I went back to my house a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's a very long road, Burt Hill. I was marching up that with a cousin, and they ticking off the houses, and they were all exactly as I remembered. They were 1930s, believe it or not, houses, and suddenly, where's my house gone? The house was not there. And it was replaced by a sort of an apartment block. Instead of my lovely cherry tree and lawns, it was this pile of concrete.
Well, that's exactly why we're here talking about these things, because history so often gets sort of brushed under the carpet or forgotten about.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to Ranger Chris from Dinomania, Tom Miles and Luna who are supporting ShelterBox, to Tamsin Chapman Gunner from Gunners Kids CIC, to Wilbur from White River Cinema, who along with Snap Fitness St Austell are raising funds for Medi Cinema, and to local astronomer Brian Sheen too. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, do email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. NEWSWAVE has been produced and presented by me, Tom Howe, and is a Chaos Radio production for the Cornwall Community Media Network.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.